So, that dude's dead.
Yeah, and I'm like really shook by it. I mean, look at this. I can't even hold my pocket watch.
I know. How crazy is that? We went on board this ship, and we found a dead guy.
I know.
I'm creeped out. I'm creeped out, man.
It does not seem like he had a good death either.
No, he died. That's so sad.
This guy's sad.
We will have to avenge him. I think the best way we can possibly do that is by figuring out who the hell he is and how he died and who killed him. What do you say?
So is this the... Yeah, I'm in.
Will that
is
put
this
us
the
over
corpse
rest?
for this memory?
That is the corpse, yeah.
So how do I know who he is? Because he's shrouded.
If
It
only,
does tell me, though.
If only there were some clue as to...
Some sort of button.
Or, yeah. I love that every single week you forget what every fucking button on your fucking controller does.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, look, I found our next corpse.
Wow! That's
I'm so
amazing
good.
detective work.
Thank you. How did I do it? Okay. Wow. Well, let's see. Smoke Monster, please take me on a tour of the entire fucking ship before showing me the corpse that is right at my feet. Oh, it's right here? Oh, I gotcha. Both me and the game are off to a great start so far.
Can we go back into the other one first? Because we had, like, shit tons... Or not! What is your fucking problem?
I don't know what all the buttons do.
Oh.
What did you think that button was gonna do?
What was that? Someone hurt. Senor Nichols, is that you? What are you doing down here?
Hello, yes. All fine here. Just, sorting some things.
Watch your step. Here, let me help you.
Whoa. Okay, this was a mistake to open up this memory before exploring the other one.
I mean, you
But
can
we're here
easily
now.
go back, yeah.
What is that? It's like a little glowing football? It's like a conch shell, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
But it's got magic coming out of it. Okay, well, I feel like from this clue I can make some guesses based on accents. I feel like they were implying
You can be pretty confident in identifying both of those dudes. If I'm remembering this right. And I will say this.
We might be on a new deck here, too, huh?
I believe we are, though I don't know if you have access to it yet. Oh yeah, no, the staircase is... Oh, but it's not open. So you may or may not have access to this deck properly yet. Now this is interesting. As it turns out, by going here first, you actually are going to make... When you go back to the next/previous scene, it's going to be a little easier for you to parse. Because you're now kind of viewing it through in order.
Oh, so this is the very first one.
Mm-hmm.
So we went from the last... Oh, no, we did not. There's only 3 scenes here.
That is correct.
Okay, so we explored this one at the end of the last video.
No. Yes,
No.
we fully explored that one at the end of the last video.
And then we were just about to explore this one, which we know from the painting.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I will tell you, you can almost certainly identify both those dudes.
Okay. Well, let's see if I can beat the real boss of this game, the Xbox controller.
Holy fuck.
Okay, so he's a violinist. And who is this? How did they die?
That's the next
that's
scene.
That's the wrong page.
Yep.
This one. Senor Nicholas.
Nichols.
Okay. So the one with the X's is the person who died.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one to speak was speaking with an Italian accent. Or Spanish or something like that. And then Nichols was the one who says A and hello, yes. That was with an English accent.
But we have a name for him, so unless there's multiple Nichols...
Gotcha. So if this is the guy who died, is the one that I'm investigating right now, and he is not Nichols.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to go to the Oops, wrong button. I need
Nope,
to go to
no
the
correct
other
button. Okay, well,
There you go, this guy.
there's different things you could be doing, sure.
And I need to indicate that this is Nichols. Second mate. I think.
That seems very plausible.
Found in 3 memories. Okay, good. But I don't know who this person is.
But you can deduce it.
I can deduce it. Okay, so
Yep.
let me see how. Let's see how I can deduce this. So we're going to go back in here.
The only hint I will give you is that you can deduce it using the book and the information that you've already called out. There's nothing else you have to look at in the scene.
Okay. So he says, who is there? Who is that? Is someone hurt? What are you doing down here? So it's someone who belongs down here. So if I go on the deck and I see where we are, I see that we're in the passengers.
No.
No.
That's where the corpse is now.
Oh, right.
The corpse was moved up
My
there.
feet is here.
Yep.
So we've got captain's cargo, cargo hold, lazarette, passenger's cargo, and bosun's store.
And you made the observation that his accent sounded like Italian or Spanish or something along those lines.
So
Which
let's see if the
I
bosun
agree
is-
with that.
Shows minor note. Okay. So there's only a bosun's mate, not a bosun.
Mm-hmm. That means you've
Charles
already
Minor.
definitively identified the bosun. And more to the point, we know for a fact what happened to the bosun's mate, even if we don't know who it is.
Right. Okay. So that doesn't seem right. Plus it's France, so I'm not liking an officer for this. So maybe Italian passenger. England, Formosa. Where's Formosa? Is that an island nation?
That is Taiwan.
Taiwan. Oh, right. We covered that.
Yep.
So I'm guessing Italian passenger seems right in the passenger's quarters in the hold. But that's not the passenger's quarters, but it was
As a passenger
storage.
cargo. Yeah.
But
Okay.
it's reasonable that a passenger would be down there, right?
Sure.
We've made bigger leaps in this video. I lost myself here. Was it open more? Yeah, there it is. I'm going for it. Let's try.
All right.
And then I think bludgeoned.
That you want to take a closer look at what's happening.
Okay. And I think it was by the second mate. Maybe choked?
What's he doing?
Seems like choking around his neck, right? That's a hand around the neck.
Matt, where is a person's neck?
Is this a trick question? I don't know. Oh, do you think that there's a dagger there? Like he's stabbed him in the heart? I can't quite see, and I don't think there's a way to crouch, and I can't get past him.
You can go all the way around to get on the other side.
I suppose you're right.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's not a clubbing. And his hands are definitely not at the other guy's neck.
Yeah, okay. Stabbed in the heart. That feels like that might be the thing.
I think the hand that you're seeing at the neck is the victim's.
Right. So I'll go with knifed. Okay, there we go. Then the corpse was moved post-mortem.
Mm-hmm.
And then for this guy, second mate, he's in some memories.
We have no idea how he dies yet. We have not yet
I don't
seen
think so.
or passed his death.
You proud of me for figuring out how to use the controller?
Ugh.
Oh, someone else is. Okay, so how did this guy die? Formosa royalty. Oh, right.
Is
'cause-
he dead?
I don't know, but he's knocked down. And. Huh. We've investigated these individuals before. Like, this one is not blurry.
We have seen them. So, yes. You're a little bit... They have not really come up in a major way before this memory and the previous one.
So I'm guessing that this safe or box or something is somehow sacred, and that symbol that sort of looks like, those Japanese gates? I forget what they're called. But it just kind of looks a little ornate and ceremonial, and it's got this sort of conch shell and this weird, I'm just going to say magic radiating out from it.
Okay.
And this Formosan guard clubbed right?
Mhm.
I mean, I guess he's holding a spear.
Yeah, no.
So,
The thing is...
I'm saying that the second mate here, Nichols, dealt with this guy, and then was discovered by this guy, and is now dealing with this guy.
Okay, seems totally plausible.
And since he's using a knife and there's some blood there, I'm going to say stabbed.
Except, let's use some meta-knowledge.
Okay.
I think that guy's not dead.
And why would you think that?
Because I know how the game works, and so do you.
Right.
If that
because
guy
when I see that he's in
no.
memories...
Well, also that, but even without looking at he perished in a later point, if he were dead, what would be happening right now?
He would be another corpse that I could chain to?
Mm-hmm. The fact that you can't chain to him is a very strong suggestion that he is not dead yet. There is also a very strong confirmation based on you know that he dies in a later part. In fact, in the next part. In Murder Part 2.
Oh, so is this the guy who is tied up and shot? Oh, interesting. Is that what Murder Part 2 is?
Well, you're in Murder Part 1 right now.
Yeah, you're right. It's this... Yeah, okay. So what happened here? Nichols comes down here, stabs or beats this guy.
Looks like
gets
clubs,
caught
because
by-
there's literally a club lying next to him, and that's not his weapon because he's got the spear.
Yeah, okay. Clubs this guy, gets caught, stabs the guy who caught him, then wraps this guy up and brings him upstairs
Well, hold
to
on.
accuse him of a trial or something?
Hold on. Go back to Part 2 and look around. I think you'll get a lot more out of it now that you've seen this.
Okay. Okay, so let's just walk through the magical door.
Oh, but yes, that is the last cell.
Okay. Part 3, murder. Gotcha. Okay, so we're going to go back and investigate this one.
Yeah, don't skip the dialogue.
Hok Seng Lao, you have been found guilty by self-confession of the murder of Nunzio Pasquale. As captain of this ship, and by the authority of the East India Company, and thus the Crown of England, I sentence you to death by firing line. Mr. Wolf, when you are ready.
Right, sir. Ready then. Aim. Fire.
So, no conversation. I mean, he says nothing in response to these allegations.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
maybe he was unconscious at this time.
Did you recognize any names in those allegations?
Well, sure. Hok Seng Lao, so that's part of it. And then Mrs. Lim.
And any other name that you've encountered recently?
Well, we've got the captain of the ship and Mr. Wolf. Have I encountered any of those people recently? Mr. Wolf?
There's yet one more name that will explain to you the connection between this scene and the previous one.
Oh, Nunzio Pasqua. Who was that?
Holy fuck.
That was the guy. Oh, that was the... Because I was focused on the Italian name. Okay, got it. So that is the passenger.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. So he did not commit this murder.
Mm-hmm.
He was already unconscious, I'm guessing, when the murder was committed.
Mm-hmm.
Then this guy says that he did it by self-confession, so there's probably no witness to the self-confession.
Or it was coerced, or he doesn't speak English. Yeah, definitely something fishy there.
Interesting. Alright, well, let's go ahead and tag this guy as Hok Seng Lao, who should be Formosa. And he was shot. Are we meant to know who did it? That's an
Well,
interesting question.
who shot this guy right now? Yes, you are meant to know whose bullet is the one that killed him.
Which is the one where the blood is coming from.
Correct. Hey, it's that guy.
Who was knifed by the captain.
Yep. And you have passed over a clue that could help you ID him, but you apparently have not picked up on it yet.
Okay. And then this is probably the woman who's crying. Yeah, she's the only woman here anyway, so that's pretty easy to identify, because we know she's from Formosa. And now I know that Mrs. Lim was what they said. So that.
And you don't yet have enough information to tell the other two Formosan apart.
Okay. Okay. Well, definitely this was like you said, there's bad shit going down here.
Yep. There's at least one more ID you can confidently make in this scene. That's the captain that you just looked at.
Hawk, Nunzio, Miss Lim, Mr. Wolf, are you ready? Okay, so let's see if Mr. Wolf is giving the order here somewhere. Seems reasonable that that would be this guy with the hat. Yeah, he just put his hand down like he gave an order. Gunner, Christian Wolf.
Oh, I didn't realize you had already ID'd him. Well, that's cool.
Alright. So good to know. Okay, that's useful.
Yep. And I would take a quick poke around, see if you can gather any other interesting or useful information.
Well, everyone's watching. Does the game tell me any indication of how much time has passed between... I mean, I understand there's only 3 chapters
No,
here, but
I don't think it ever explicitly does.
Because in a lot of the chapters, it's like they're seconds or moments apart. But this could be several hours apart.
Probably, yes.
Oh, this is the painter.
Yep. You've already ID'd him and his death, I believe. Yeah.
Sad. He's a cool guy, though.
Okay. No,
Alright.
Wolf was the one I was saying you could definitely get. I didn't remember that you had already found him.
Is that a chicken?
Oh, yeah.
Can't ID it.
No. Oh, God, maybe that's what went wrong with the Obra Dinn. They attacked the chicken too much.
Oh, no.
Maybe
Okay,
the Kraken
let's-
was made of chickens.
I think the
giant-
Kraken was made of conch shell magic. I don't know what those Formosans were up to, but maybe they killed him because they knew that they had the magic conch shell. I mean, maybe this guy's not so innocent. I don't know.
Alright, so to remind you, you now need to find a new corpse to start a new chain. And if you look in the book, it will have circled the location. That said, as you said, that you might be able to get down to the cargo deck, so it might be worth looking to see if, in fact, one of those staircases opened, since that last memory did have you on the cargo deck.
That makes sense to me.
So I would try that first, and if that's
Are
not...
these the circles?
Those are masts.
Oh, yeah, I thought so. So when you say something is circled on the map, it doesn't appear
No,
that
no,
it is.
not on the map, in your book.
Oh, gotcha.
Excuse me. Like it'll say, if you go forward to loose cargo, I know you haven't explored that yet, and you skip C on the cargo deck. So I think you might straight up have access to the cargo deck now, because that last scene took place on the cargo deck.
Alright, I'm with you. I'll go check it out in just a
Oh,
second.
wait,
but
where
I'm just
was
kinda
that?
curious.
Yeah, okay, that's also on the cargo deck. Cool. Yeah, that would make sense if you
the
can now
cargo
access
deck?
cargo. You're done past this point. You just have those 2 chapters left to explore, I believe. Not
The
counting...
Lazarette, which is also on the cargo deck.
Right, but the bargain is the one that you don't get access to until you finish literally everything else.
Got it.
All right,
Now,
let's
when
go...
you say finish, do you mean like just experience once?
No. You get access to the bargain if you correctly identify everyone else.
Oh, wow. So that's going to be like 6 more videos at the end of this series. Just knowing my speed of going through this stuff.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. We'll have to figure out what to do with videos after you get through unlocking all the new memories. You went out of there pretty quickly.
Well, I'm curious, but I really want to... Oh, see?
What?
Missing. Magic conch shell safe. Gone. I know, I do want to explore that other room, but I remembered, why am I starting there? I should start with the magic shell. Plus, I just kind of want to get a lay for the main deck here. So this is the lazarette.
Correct.
It's got a big lock on it.
Yeah, you will not get in there. I'll just spare you the agony. The only way into the lazarette.
Uh-oh. Interesting. Got some loose bones there.
May I suggest saving that one for last?
Sure.
Just from a narrative pacing perspective, I think that's gonna... Save that for last. I don't want to say why. Okay. Beyond narrative pacing, quote-unquote.
Got some grog, or maybe some other provisions down here.
Did you know that grog was, like, an actual real thing? Like, that was the the standardized name for it?
Oh, well, yeah, it was like watered-down rum or something. Right?
Yeah. Well, I first encountered the word through Secret of Monkey Island.
Sure.
And I thought it was just like...
As 11-year-olds.
Yeah. I thought it was just like a slangy sort of term for drink or whatever. No, like, grog was a thing.
Yeah, totally. I believe that. Okay, why did my pocket watch come up for a second here? This is interesting.
What do you see?
Well, I see some flies and a missing barrel and my pocket watch.
And what are the flies coming from?
The barrel, I guess. Let's find out. Okay. Hoist away, lower away. What are they hoisting and lowering?
Now,
from up here.
Did you notice anything about the sound quality in that?
Well, it was a little muffled. Oh, and here's a guy. Yeah, muffled, implying that the folks talking were all the way up there, which makes sense because they're
not. No, that would just
ropes.
be distant, not muffled. Did you notice anything else about the sound?
I don't know that I did.
All right. Well, it'll tell you, but you have to wait. You have to wait. It hasn't happened yet.
Okay, well, there's some guy down here who's having a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of stuff fell on him.
Mm-hmm. But he's not the center of our death scene, remember?
Right, it was pointing at that barrel. Okay, loose cargo. Chapter 1, alright. Coy's corpse was moved post-mortem.
Read the top left, though.
An unidentified stowaway, expecting free passage and eventual freedom, was instead crushed inside a falling barrel. The corpse was moved post-mortem. 12 others were present.
So it appears, in other words, that they never actually knew there was a stowaway. Like, they moved the barrel without extracting the stowaway from it.
Wow. Okay, so that's really interesting and kind of random, and I guess I'm not expected to identify that stowaway.
Nope, he's not on the manifest.
Okay, so in some ways that kind of feels like a plot device to just be able to introduce this chapter, but
yeah,
I mean, I guess
little
it's kind
bit.
of funny.
But it also, this is kind of cool. So you see what happened up above?
Yeah.
What?
Well, like all these decks were open, like there's some...
Yeah, they're loading the cargo in, but what happened, like, a second ago?
A hoist or something snapped, a rope snapped.
The rope snapped. Why might the rope have snapped?
Under the weight. Maybe because they realized it was a stowaway.
So that's my theory. It's not actually, like, important to the game's plot, and I do think you're right, it is primarily a device, but I like it because it actually explains, like, oh, they're not stupid. One of the barrels was just much heavier than it was supposed to be. And that
unknown stowaway was just planning to live in a barrel for months, or I guess would have just come
know what the
point.
plan was. Yeah, maybe sneak out of the barrel to get food. Who knows? Anyway, yeah, the real deduction will come in the next scene. This poor dude.
Sensible. So that loading of the ship probably happened when it was in dry dock, whenever it was like, or not dry dock, but docked and right before it took off.
In fact, if when you open up the book and look at the ship's map for this chapter, you'll see it's in London. Or wherever it launched from.
Okay, so this guy was moved. Oh no, that guy was moved. Oh, this is where that scene just happened. Interesting. Got it.
No!
Well, I have a pretty good idea what happened to this guy.
Yep. Now, here's a challenge I will give you. You can positively identify this guy. Well, positively. You can, with a great degree of confidence, name this person who just died. Okay, so yeah, you'll note this guy has 3 triangles, but his face is unblurred. Which is, I completely agree with. This requires a fair bit of lateral or clever thinking, but you totally can. I was very proud of myself. This is probably one of the harder deductions I made, like, just in a single flash of, like, oh, I get it! So I'm curious if you can.
Okay.
Now, it is going to be difficult for you because you've been playing the game with, like, giant gaps in between stuff. So I guess the hint I'm implying is knowledge from some other scene will let you identify this guy.
Orlop stern near
Yeah.
the tiller.
This dialogue does not help you. But if you can remember everything else that you've seen, there is something you learned in a different scene that will tell you who this person is.
And he's only in one memory, which makes sense, because this is, like, part 1.
Yeah, this is the first memory.
He's the first one to die.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you count the stowaway.
No, the stowaway came after.
And we know the location of the corpse. Down here.
Yep.
I don't know, man. I don't feel like... I'm confused about how something from a later scene would help me. Like, what role could this guy possibly play in a later scene?
That is an excellent question.
I mean, maybe they're like... Oh, maybe they, like, mourn someone's death or something. They say... Maybe they talk about this accident from the beginning in a different scene.
Did that happen?
I don't remember. People started succumbing to a tragic illness. I mean, I guess I could just look at this really quick. There was only like 3 here.
If you're going to be methodical, may I suggest starting from the end?
Really?
If this is what you want to do, start from the end.
So maybe someone makes a a mention of, like, this voyage was doomed from when so-and-so died. Huh.
Although, hey, take a look at that dialogue real fast.
Yeah.
This isn't relevant to this scene, but... Do you notice anything that suddenly has more meaning to you?
Take more than those shells? Meaning, oh, so maybe there was more than one conch shell involved. Oh man, a perceptive person could pick up so much from playing through this game. I feel like it's a little bit like The Witness in that way, where it's like you're only limited by your own ability to perceive the things that are going on around you.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that comparison.
Well, give me a clue, or
No.
tell me to just...
No,
Give up
I'm
on
not.
this for a
I'm
while.
not giving you any additional clues that I haven't already.
Okay. Alright, I'm with you. Yeah, I mean, this will be fun to kind of review all these stories after we've kind of gotten as much as we can, but I don't feel like we're at that point yet. So,
Okay. Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of people here, but I'm not really sure.
No, without that connection, and I'm fairly confident that's the only way to identify this guy, you can't do it yet.
Okay, so I'm looking for the next corpse.
No, there's no next corpse. You have to leave the scene. This is literally the first death of the voyage. You have to leave the scene and go back out to the boat to find another actual, a real living corpse.
Interesting. Interesting point. You're right, because I can't really go backwards from here.
Nope.
And was that all there was to learn here?
I mean, you can mark how he died, I suppose. But yeah, I remember this puzzle. There is precisely one way to figure him out.
Neat. Okay, well...
Keep looking around.
Yeah,
You still
thanks for
haven't found the last corpse on this level.
Okay. Let's see what we can find through this door back here.
The one that is by the lazarette is one I was saying save for last.
Gotcha. Well, there's one of those things.
Oh yeah, that's a corpse. that'll do.
Oh, wait,
Jesus Christ, that's so fucking creepy.
Is that a corpse?
It's the corpse of the spider thing. Yes.
I guess it did let me go to the cow's corpse.
Mm-hmm. And it's, I mean, it's sure is dead.
Game is consistent with its rules. Okay, let's see what we can learn.
I like that they fucking lobster banded it.
Yeah. Whoa! So someone got it. Was it this guy? Is he holding like a... It's almost like a grenade launcher thing that he's holding.
Yeah, it seems to be... I think we saw that, like, mega gun being prepped in an earlier scene. We've actually jumped back to Soldiers of the Sea. This is part 8 of Soldiers of the Sea.
That makes sense, because we saw these guys making their way down into the cargo hull. Mm-hmm. I wonder if they're going after the seashell. Which I cannot open this door right now to see.
Yeah, you can never open doors in memories.
So it's not asking me to find this thing's cause of death, is it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, whoever this is...
You're gonna have to wait for it to load.
But, oh, right. And I could reasonably guess is the way he died.
True.
Oh, well-timed music there. Is it always that well-timed? Guess I never noticed.
Yes, the The opening 30 seconds, definitely. Wait a second, I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, I know what I... Okay, never mind. Everything is good. I think Spirit is fine. Or Spike. Now that... Well, who knows? It'll probably give you credit for either one, really.
Speared by a beast.
Yep.
And this guy... He probably survives this. Since that crab's getting blowed up. There's really nowhere else for me to go.
Nope. There's not a lot else to do right now.
There's a topman. Who's down here. And this unknown person. Yeah, okay. Excuse me, coming through. Nope, gotta go under here. Pardon me, excuse me. Okay. So that didn't open up any other corpses.
Nope. You have that one last corpse, I think, if I'm remembering how this works. Then maybe go back and look at the... Do you have Chapter 5 filled in yet? Unholy Captives. Oh, right. Yeah, we have to do that one. And then the calling last. I think it'll force you to do that. I think you can't get to the calling until you get through Unholy Captives.
Man, this is so cool. I feel like there's going to be two phases of this game. I feel like phase one is going to be experiencing every memory once. And then I feel like almost as much of the game is going to be actually naming everyone to get inside this damn lazarette.
Oh, that's a really interesting feeling, Matt. Where do you think that feeling comes from?
I don't know.
My guess is the time that my guess would be the time that I explicitly told you that's how the game works, but I don't know.
So it really could be anything, though. Any of a dozen things.
Anyway, now you should go back and investigate the corpse, the little scrap on the floor near the lazarette. That is the only path forward. You've done all the side questing. It's now time to finish the main plot, as it were.
Okay.
Keep pressure here.
What madness is this? 20 years my steward had never a doubt on your sanity. Explain yourself.
Those gouty beasts carry a curse. Throw them back or do us all.
Tie him up and put him in the lazarette with those things. He may yet find his senses.
Down. Get up, order. All's fine, John. Been in worse spots, I think. Where's the rest of his leg?
So John is down here. Okay.
So John, I'll find John. Been in worse spots, I think. John had not been in worse spots.
And it's not letting me see the lazarette. And anyways, I wouldn't be able to see anything because he's not in it. But he gets put in there. But apparently he doesn't, or he dies. Or
so there's
his leg is the piece that's outside the lazarette.
Yeah.
Got it.
Probably.
So he may yet live quite a bit longer. And
he's our corpse.
Oh, he's our corpse. Okay.
Yeah.
He dies in this moment, but he is also moved to the lazarette.
No. There's two different people involved.
Alright. Well, in just a moment, I will pull up the transcript.
Yep. Yeah, you can make at least one identification with confidence, and I think both of them, but maybe only one.
Unholy Captives.
Mm-hmm.
And we're at part 4.
Yep. Alright, so before you click that fucking stopwatch, you can... So we know that guy's first name, and we know how he died.
So the fact that he's using a gun is probably in this.
It means he's a seaman of some sort, or possibly a topman, I guess.
Okay, so it doesn't give us that much, but let me go back to the dialogue.
But you know his first name.
Yeah, exactly. 20 years my steward. So we know someone and their steward. Probably a surgeon and his steward.
Let's focus on this dude who died first.
So he says, Era Darar.
That's not him. It's not him because there's no X.
There's no X. He doesn't say anything.
Yeah. So there's like two separate little vignettes taking place right now.
So you think I know his name from this?
You explicitly do. All's fine, John. Been in worse spots, I think. Where's the rest of his leg? That's the surgeon.
Oh, the surgeon is talking to John.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
He's trying to buck him up.
Got it. I did not pick that up even from the vocal portion of the dialogue. I thought they were still having a conversation, the two of them. You're right, though, that it would make sense he's talking to his patient.
The surgeon is not in the prior conversation at all.
So there's a fourth mate named John, and that would make sense that would be one of the persons using a weapon.
But the fourth mate would not be firing a gun in a firing squad. He would have a fancy hat.
Well reasoned. On the other hand, a seaman from Wales. I could buy that.
Alright.
And he lost
Sworded.
a leg.
Yeah, he was sworded.
But what are the circumstances of that? Do we know yet?
Killed sword, I think. Yeah.
But we don't know what happened. We just know they're talking about ungodly beasts.
So, okay, look at the rest of the scene. See if you can figure out what's going on here.
Okay. So nothing over here. These doors are all closed. Trying to save this guy.
Yep.
Part of his leg's over by the lazaret. He's got a sword.
What's happening over here on the left? On the right, sorry.
That guy is angry. And he's dragging this guy. Who we don't know.
Uh-huh.
He's kind of tied up, and there's a sword on the ground.
Yup. And who else do we have?
The captain.
Oh, hey.
And the bosun.
Okay.
What does the bosun do again?
He commands the seamen.
Bosun and captain. Someone getting tied up and dragged away. A sword on the ground. Some bloody
someone
stuff,
who had his leg hacked off.
Yeah, so this could be an altercation.
Yeah, this is one where it might be useful to hear the dialogue again, honestly.
Hold him down. What madness is this? 20 years my steward and never a doubt on your sanity. Explain yourself. So a steward went insane.
Uh-huh. Or did something completely crazy, at least.
And then this, you fools that he's shouting out, that's probably the steward.
Mm-hmm.
So what language is that? Is that a Google question?
Yeah, probably.
E-R-A-D-A-R-A?
R. Era darar.
What does it tell you?
Oh, I thought you were looking it up. I'll look it up real fast.
I'll race you to it.
It is Swedish.
Okay. So I like Swedish steward for this guy. Let's see if... Oops, wrong thing. Let's see if we can find a Swedish steward. Sweden, Captain Stewart. That sure makes sense.
Given that is the captain.
Yeah.
Okay. And that means we can fill in another detail in this scene with a fair amount of confidence.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Well, let me just double check that we know these people. I assume the surgeon, yeah.
We believe it to be, yep.
We're kind of reinforcing that in this.
Yep.
This person, I'm not sure. He might just be down here. Okay, I'm not sure who these other two are. Alright, let me review the dialogue one more time. Ungodly beasts.
Hey, just pull back to the main page for this memory real fast.
Yeah.
Anything else you can do here?
Well, 18 others were present, and I could look at the location.
Okay. Anything super obvious and basic you can do here? On this page?
There's only 4 things that are selectable.
Uh-huh. Can you do anything useful with any one of those 4?
Keep pressure here, in quotes. John Naples, seaman, killed by a sword by an unknown attacker. Oh, right. Right. It was the Swede. Ooh, any 15 achievement.
Now, something that might end up being useful, I find often helpful to do, is after it does this, if you go... Hey, there you go. Go back to the very beginning, the passenger manifest, and double check whether you've got any other complete entries.
Okay.
Because if you have any other complete entries, you now know something's wrong.
And how would that be indicated?
If it says, shot cannon, if it has both a cause of death and an actor in that right-hand column, that means you are wrong about something, because otherwise you would have gotten the 3 fates correct earlier.
So these are all...
Yep, so
at least one unknown.
Yep, so you have not made any mistakes so far.
No mistakes.
Well, yeah, had you made a mistake, you would see there, oh, wait a second, I should have gotten 3 fates correct with the previous one, because I had 3 fully filled out.
Got it. Very clever. Good pro tip.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, okay, we got a lot going on here.
Yeah, we do. Anyway, I think we should actually stop here.
Alright, I'm with you.
Since that was a nice little ending point.
And they're bringing the shell safe down. And, which chapter was this again?
That was chapter 5.
Unholy Captives.
That's quite a bit after Murder, isn't it?
And Murder was the one where we found the shell open.
Yep, and it was down in the cargo. So, there are some...
in loose cargo, the shell was not down there? Or we
didn't see it, but we didn't have access to the area.
And then in Murder, it was down there. And now in Unholy Captives, it's
the chest, or at least the chest, which we can assume contains it, or don't know, is being brought down.
Or brought up, I guess. You don't really know.
Well, you do, because they're looking down the stairs.
Yeah.
And you see the guy beckoning them down. They're clearly bringing it down.
Very interesting. Well, I'm dying to finish up these cutscenes and just kind of see what the whole story is about.
Yeah.
Before the second half of the game begins.
The second half of the game... I'm going to have to think about how we'll approach it in order to minimize wandering and randomness, but...
Keeping in mind who you've got playing the game.
Yeah. I bet we will finish up the game, the memories, that is, in the next episode.
Wow.
There's not that many left, although they are very interesting. Also, it will be very useful to make a point of double-checking what fucking controls do what before we play next time. For reasons that you will see.
I will make no promises.
All right.
Cool. Have a good night.
All right. See ya.